Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 101 with 8, and I'm here with my two special guests. I got my guests right here to the left and to the right of me. So we want to start off to the right.
Hello, I'm Rajana.
Hey, Rajana.
Hey y'all, I'm Alana.
What's up, Lana? And now, first thing first, right? So we can start off kind of like, what school you from? What school y'all attended?
Marion P.
Marion P.
Awesome.
Marion P. And how was school at Marion P before everything kicked off?
Chaotic.
Before the pandemic, the school itself was just all over the place.
Okay.
The learning process was okay, but just the school period was just rocky.
Okay. Now, what make y'all say that though? Cause you say chaotic, you say rocky. Like, what was it? All right. So was it because of the students aspect? Was it just like a lot of reckless stuff going on, or was it like a lot of lack of education? Like, it wasn't a lot of teacher involvement.
Well, I feel like every school, like with kids, when you go places, we gonna fight, we gonna have problems. But if somebody not trying to change that, that's where it becomes a whole like problem. Cause parents get involved, other people start coming to the school, putting other people in jeopardy.
So, like, you felt like it wasn't like no mediation being done?
Where nah.
Yeah.
Even with that, it was also lack of, how can I say this? Lack of education. Like, teachers were in and they were out. You had teachers trying to be friends with students.
Yeah.
Like, the substitutes that we had were like 20s. That's not far from us.
Yeah.
I'll be 17, so if you think about it, that's not far from us. So they was trying to fit in with us and keep up with
in another 3 years, you could have a job.
Exactly.
Okay. And so, let's talk about personally, like, y'all grades. So we'll start, since we started off with you, we'll start with you, Lana. Like, what was your grades like, before homeschooling and everything else?
Well, they was alright. Not alright, but they was great.
Okay.
Awesome. Like I said in the video, I'm in 2 honors classes now, so to be in honors class, y'all know y'all gotta be on top, and I was.
Yeah. And what about your grades? How was schooling for you?
It was good too. A's and B's, here and there C.
Uh-huh.
That's because I would lack, but for the most part, I was maintaining an A and B grade average.
Okay. And now, so let's fast forward to, what was this about, March or something last year, 2020, pandemic hit. So now we go into homeschooling, right? Did y'all, how did the rest of the year go for y'all? Was it?
It was like summer was here. Like they would have Zoom calls, but I wasn't attending nothing because it was summertime. Y'all, we out of school now, so like.
I wasn't enthused at all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I would do the work here and there, but I wasn't enthused. It's just like, what were we supposed to do? It caught us off guard.
Okay.
So we didn't know what to do. So because we didn't know what to do, it's just like bumpy.
Yeah.
At this point.
So it was kind of like wasn't no work being done.
Right.
Because how y'all gonna enforce it? Right. So it was, how could you regulate it if we not inside y'all 4 walls?
Right.
And like you touched on one thing in the video, because it's like, yo, the parents would sit there and tell the students one thing, and then you'll have the teacher saying another thing, like, yo, keep your camera on, do this, do that. And it was just like, now y'all stuck in the middle of a conflict.
Right.
Because when you in school, you go by the school rules. When you home, you go by your parents' rules. But now you're having school at home, and you're trying to have 2 adults that you told to listen to tell you what to do. There go the conflict right there. And so balancing that, you know what I mean, when you have issues such as that, like with keeping your camera on and off, right, in certain situations because every household is different, right? Like your home might be different from hers. Hers is different from his, And I think, because it's, like give it the benefit of the doubt because everything is new. They trying to handle everybody as if everybody got the same household standards and, the same situation. And I think that's where a lot of the conflict coming from. Because like I said, the rules that apply at your house not going to apply for her house. But you grading everybody off the same system. And so now with all that being said, like how y'all grades looking now? Like, we in the second quarter or the third quarter?
Third, right?
In the third quarter?
Second to the third.
Alright, so far.
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
I ain't rocking with it.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Nah, so it's like the homeschooling shit is not working.
It's not.
At all.
Don't get me wrong. A couple of classes I'm maintaining.
Okay.
But far as the classes that we need the most, which is math, reading, I'm just gonna say
Yeah. And what you think it is that was missing from that though? Like, why do you think your grades is slipping in those subjects?
I could say I play a part, but also the teachers, they don't enforce enough. They tell us to do one thing. Like I said, we home.
Yeah. So it's like, it's like they tell you one thing and then you got to do a whole nother, right? So let's say now let's talk about the video that y'all did, right? So what sparked y'all to even decide to speak out? Because before y'all even start, y'all posted that shit like 3 in the morning, yo. I just said y'all pop up on my timeline like it was almost like 3 in the morning.
We just was chilling, listening to music, and we do something I call it spiritually connecting, which means we just bouncing off of each other. So that's what we was doing. Like, oh, let's spiritually connect, and then boom, I start singing.
Yeah.
Just going like the grades, blah blah blah. She like, let's
And
make
I
a video.
decided to start recording.
So I'm like, alright. And then I was like, don't post it. We ain't gonna get no recognition. Our kids now, they don't care.
They don't want to hear about nothing like that. Yeah. So y'all posted it, boom, right? And then what happened from there? Like how y'all feel when you hit the share button?
What? When we did that, I'm like, I'm going to sleep.
You ain't gonna check no comments and then you ain't gonna look at it.
We went to sleep. We woke up.
Yeah, shit busting.
What? Running through the house.
Yeah, train was busting, man. But what y'all did was, it took a lot of courage. Because like you said, a lot of kids, like y'all age, and even if they felt how y'all felt, it's still hard for for them to express themselves in that type of manner.
Right.
And it's always hard to be the first one, right? The first step is always the hardest first step because you're doing something that's different from the normal around you.
Right.
And even though somebody might feel it or think it, it's still difficult to, to say it and put it out there. And y'all did that. And y'all changed, y'all started the conversation. Y'all sparked a real conversation. And that's why I invited y'all up here, because y'all voices need to be heard, and it needs to be followed behind this. You know what I'm saying? Like that take a lot of courage, and I want y'all to keep going.
Right.
And like I said, when I hit y'all and told y'all, no, I'm gonna send it to the mayor. You know what I'm saying? And he seen it, and he respected it, and he liked what y'all did, and he responded directly to y'all. As soon as I sent it, he seen it, he watched it, and he responded. And so our next thing is to work on the superintendent, because the mayor gave a response, right? What did y'all think about his response? You read it as well? You saying what he said?
I read it.
Did you understand what he was saying?
As far as the protocol, like I said, I don't see a change personally, so I wasn't really too enthused with what he said. Not saying that it didn't touch, but it's just like
that wasn't the answer you was looking for.
right when
Word,
you used
like,
to.
if it was the answer, not to cut you off, but if it was the answer that I was looking for, I would have remembered. I totally forgot what was the conversation about.
And that's because
Exactly.
we got accustomed to things not being put in place. So when you used to stuff and you speaking on it and things aren't changing, it's like later for that.
Word.
Yeah. And so, what we have inside of situations like this, and especially with politics, we got this thing that I hate the most, and it's called red tape, right? So, we can't directly make a change that we can't just sit, like, there's nobody with a magic wand that can sit here and say, yo, the school gonna be back open Monday.
Right.
Because these two girls feel a type of way, and they got a lot of people who agree with them. So we just gonna open the schools Monday. It don't work like that, right? Because you know, with these schools and all this, it's all political. It's a lot of adult freeze tag games and kiddie games that go on behind the scenes. So it has to be, like you said, it's a staff that's over. You talking about putting over 40,000 people back into work, kids back inside these same places. Like they can't just say, okay, Marion P, y'all open tomorrow, and the rest of the city shut down. So it has to be a protocol put in place for everybody, for all the schools to go back. You know what I mean, at a set date and a set time. And then we talk about stuff like that. You talk about they pushing the vaccine now, so they want all the teachers to get vaccinated. And then, you know, we at a space where a lot of adults don't want to get a vaccine. So then that's another fight that they have to fight. So it's just a whole bunch of unseen fights that's being fought behind the scene, but y'all are being directly affected by it, right? So if we had it our way, we'd be like, yo, fuck it, Marion P, y'all open tomorrow. Weekway, y'all want to open up next month? Y'all open up next month. West Side, y'all want to open up tomorrow? Y'all open up tomorrow too. But it don't work like that. And so while we inside of these, you know, I want to call them like transitions, because we all learning. So while we inside of these transitions, we want to make sure that y'all message and everything that y'all got going on is still being pumped out there. Because let's say they decided, yo, we was gonna open up the schools in, let's say, April. But by y'all putting y'all voices out there, they decide they want to open it up in March now, because y'all put a speed on the process. So that's still a win for y'all.
Right.
Right?
But
So
even with that, sorry to cut you
not
off.
good.
Even with that, when we ask questions and our questions aren't answered, we start to wonder. Like, we in school, so we communicating with our teachers. Our teachers don't know. So because our teachers don't know, it's just like, dang,
Yeah.
what's changing? And that's basically what the whole video is about. Change.
Right.
What's changing? You could say one thing and act on something totally different. What's changing? That's the big question. What's
Right,
changing?
If we go back into school, say tomorrow, people still gonna have problems. We still gonna have brawl outs.
Yeah,
They
what's
is
changing?
off the hook. So
And it's not just us.
Yeah. But see, but my thing is to you is who question is that to answer? What's changing?
Apparently not ours. I don't know. That's why I'm opposing it.
Good.
To just throw it out there. Anybody can answer. If you know, you come to me and we could talk. I don't know.
So that's the question. What's changing, right?
Right.
But the only answer that we do know so far is something needs to change,
right.
right? Because it's not about what you ask, it's about who you asking it to. So you can have a million questions in the world, but if you're not getting it to the right audience, then the answers that you receive ain't gonna matter. Like, we could ask the security guards when the school's gonna open. We could ask me when the school's gonna open. We could ask the parents. But if we're not getting these questions in front of the right people to answer them, then we just wasting our breath. So that's what we're trying to do now is we trying to take this video, we're trying to take y'all voices and put them in front of the right audience, right?
Right.
We're trying to put it in front of the mayor. We're trying to put it in front of the school board. We're trying to put it in front of the superintendent. And once you get the answers from them, because those the decision makers in this situation, everybody else answer don't matter because their answer don't dictate anything. So we have to get these questions in front of the right answers. You know what I mean? In front of the right people who can answer. And that's what we hope to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the whole point of us coming up here today. You know what I'm saying? And so my thing is, what I think we could do moving forward is we gotta start holding up. Y'all got the luxury of social media, right?
Right.
That's gonna amplify y'all voice like to the 100th max, right? So what I think that we can do, and I'm saying we because I'm in this with y'all now, like we gotta do something like, all right, use our social media, set up a poll. Yo, how many kids think we should go back to school? How many think we should? Right? And you take a simple poll. And you take those results. We run it up and we put it in front of the people who it need to be in front of. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're not just speaking personally from y'all two.
Right.
Y'all speaking for the whole student body. You know, you could get with some other kids just like yourself and get their feedback.
Right.
And push the narrative forward. You know, come up with whatever issues that they sent, because the mayor sent a list of problems. So if we could find a way to answer some of them problems, that'll speed up the process. Right? So I think that's what we need to that need to be the next move, because now we got it out there and we talked about it. Now let's have an action plan to follow it.
Right.
And then we're gonna record the actions, and then from that we're gonna have results. So now we could sit here and literally and say, yo, we about to go meet with the superintendent.
Right.
Boom, this is that, da 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 da. And I think, and that's where we get impact and we get change from. All right, so I think that should be the next step.
Yeah. I agree.
We come up with some of these. Y'all say, yo, the school can't open because we having too many fights. Oh, because we having, kids don't want to wear uniforms. Okay, let's get out there and find an answer to these problems. And so now it's like, now what you gonna say?
Right.
All right. So we just got to use our time wisely, put our minds together, and get active. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get it, man. So, all right. So what we want to do? We want to hear from the superintendent, right?
Right.
Yeah.
From the superintendent.
Open to anyway.
Nah, we will. We gonna get there. We gonna get in front of them. All right. So we gonna work on that. All right. So I want to
Y'all
thank
hearing
y'all.
this?
Yeah. Hold, and that's the thing. Whatever I say, hold me accountable, man. Y'all the witnesses.
Words.
Yeah, they hearing it. They know what's going on. Y'all got anything y'all want to say or get out there?
Yeah,
Or?
I want to say something about
Go ahead,
the
do your
video.
thing.
For the people that do disagree, because it seems like
Mm-hmm.
the people that's out of school is the ones that's more disagreeing. The teachers, the parents, they could do so much of understanding us.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying to y'all. If y'all not the youth, this is what I said in particular. I said pertaining to the youth.
Right.
More. The ones that disagreeing, y'all could disagree all y'all want. I'm not saying that y'all can't have an opinion or y'all can't disagree. But if you're not going through it, you can't dictate. You can't, because you're not experiencing what we're experiencing. So you could do so much talking about the thing, but you can't really do too much talking about it. That's what I had to say.
And even with that, like she said, as far as the parents and the teachers, it's a no-win with them. Because again,
Why you say that?
we're going through it. Our parents, they finished with school. They handling they 1-2s, and the teachers handling they 1-2s. At any given moment, if a teacher say, "Oh, I can't be in work today," best believe we won't have that class. If our parents saying, "I can't come to work today," they not going to work. So everything ties down to us. It's like we stuck in the middle. We can't do that when it come down to school because it'll be an issue. And with a job, we can't do that when it come down to having a job because it'll be an issue. Because we're children and they feel like they can run our mindsets. Like I just was saying to Alana, our mindsets are growing. We're becoming more aware of what's going on around us. So some things we're gonna like, some things we're not gonna like. I can strongly disagree on what somebody's saying, and if I say that, it'd be like, whoa, you being disrespectful. And it's not that, it's just the simple fact that
You're free to have your own
growing up
mindset.
now.
Yeah.
So now that we're growing up, we seeing things. Same thing with the school. We see that. We don't like it. So we talking on it. And it's not disrespectfully talked about. We're just talking about it respectfully, hoping for a change.
Right.
I like that. I like that. That's impressive. That's impressive.
Now, another thing I was gonna say.
Say it.
I forgot. I forgot. I want to speak like to the teachers mainly because they probably like. I want to give them their props because with Marion P, I see them in the working process. Like with 9th grade, since I am her cousin, I know what she's been through, and I'm proud to say that I didn't experience that during my 9th grade year.
Yeah.
So I do want to give y'all props, but then again, we gotta keep moving forward. It feel like we moving backwards at this point. Like even before the pandemic, we went through a whole change and a flip.
But a mentally changed though. Mentally.
They put out all these expectations and all of that when we do go back to school. But then it's like, where's the action? How y'all meeting these expectations?
So you feel like they selling y'all a dream? It's empty promises.
Yeah.
You know, they saying they gonna do one thing, but then the actions, they ain't coming through.
And the teachers with them leaving, and we just had a principal left us.
Yeah.
He gone.
He put out all these expectations. He put out, not to call him out, but he gave us all these hopes and like all these great things that he see for us. But then you gonna leave.
But even with that, you have to understand when you constantly saying something and nobody's acting on it, it's a slap in the face to you. Cause it's like now, what am I doing wrong? I'm doing something wrong because you're not meeting the expectations that I put in place. So I give him props because he did what he had to do in the sense of moving on. Sometimes you can't stay stuck on one thing. You gotta move on because greater could be for you in the future, not within what you focused on now.
Yeah.
So he had to move on. Same thing with our last principal. She resigned, but you already know it'd be something deeper to that. Anybody, if you've been working your dream job and doing what you want to do for how many years, you're not going to just up and resign because, oh, I'm sick. Oh, I'm tired. You're not. You're going to keep going because that's what you love to do. If that's your interest and you into children and you want to help, that's what you're going to do. Somebody had to mess that up. Somebody did, and I feel like that. Same thing with him. He gone. We got a principal now that's going and going. But
that's what y'all third principal in what 3 years?
Yeah.
So
not even
30.
Not even 3 years if you think about it. It's only been what 2. 2. Within 2 years, we ran through 2 principals, and now we're on our 3rd.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And now what you saying with that, Lana, is just basically like you were, like the principal sold y'all on a dream and y'all was behind it. Then next thing you know, you look up, you're gone.
Right.
And what you saying is expectations wasn't met, so it's like, yo, I'm not gonna hold myself back with this. I'm gonna keep moving. Right? And that's 2 different viewpoints, but the end result was you moved on. It's another principal here now. So now, what Lana think is like now that's what causes trust issues. Right? Because now I get buy-in, like now I buy into this plan, and now you just up and leave me.
Right.
So now when somebody else come in with a buy, why would I even buy into it now?
Right.
Exactly.
Especially when you got accustomed to a person.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, we was comfortable with him.
I was.
You was.
I was his favorite.
Right.
He called me out all the time.
So look, right. One last thing before we wrap this up. Now we talk about the workload, right? That y'all receiving through online. Now than it was when y'all was in school, or
Yeah, I say yeah because we bypass lessons every day. Even if we don't get a lesson, we still move on to the next lesson the next day. We haven't been doing that while we was in the building, so why do it now? Is what I'm saying.
Right.
If the students don't understand, they spend probably about 5 minutes on that student, running down the lesson, and then we on to the next lesson the next day.
And that's why I feel
And you
like
agree?
the missing assignments, they get so backed up because we still trying to get used to that one assignment. It's tricky,
Gotcha.
especially when we not hands-on.
Gotcha.
We need to be hands-on. Virtual is not it.
Okay. All right. So, anything else y'all got before we wrap it up? Anything y'all want to put out there?
For the youth that's feeling less motivated or not motivated at all, we gonna get through this, and we're planning on making a change. But if you wanna be in that change, you gotta play a part too. You gotta play a role too, and that's what I'm saying to people on the live and for this broadcast. Cause if you wanna change, you can't change for nobody else. You gotta change for yourself first to even change for somebody else. Yeah, that's all.
I just simply say communicate. Communicate with us, and we can communicate with the higher power, and that's it.
That's what they've been doing thus far since that video.
Yeah. And we want to keep that energy going.
Where
All right. We want to keep that energy going. Keep putting it out there, and keep calling attention to what's going on here, so we can fix this situation. You know. And hey, I want to thank y'all both for coming through.
I want to thank you.
I'm saying we
Without
ready.
you, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But like I said, this is only the beginning, man. And we're gonna have a lot more to come from this. We're gonna have a lot more, a lot more conversations, and we're gonna get these questions in front of the people who can answer them.
Right.
Word.
All right. All right, yo. So to the next one, yo. We out.
We out.
We out.